The morning air was chilly, the kind that makes the skin prickle not from cold, but from anticipation. April 7th, 1760, was a day like no other in St. Mary Parish, Jamaica. The sun lay hidden just beneath the horizon, the day still swathed in the silky shadows of the night, oblivious to the chaos that was soon to rise like a tempest. In a small clearing just outside the sleeping plantation, a man stood, silhouetted by the dim light of pre-dawn. His name was Tacky, a leader by spirit and necessity, a former Akan prince turned slave, his eyes blazing with a defiance that had simmered for years. Around him gathered his trusted comrades, men and women who had been shackled by the same chains and dreams of freedom. Tacky had spoken to his allies the night before, their faces lit only by the flicker of candle flames and the fervor of his words. Each one was steadfast, recognizing the peril but valuing their freedom above all. "We strike at dawn," he had declared, his voice a low rumble that matched the thunder he hoped to brew. As the first edges of light crept over the hills, Tacky moved silently between the slave quarters and the great house, his machete a silent promise of what was to come. The drumbeats in the distance were a signal, a heartbeat to which their feet would move, a clandestine rhythm of rebellion. In the great house, the masters lay in oblivion, their dreams untangled by the reality that awaited them. Inside those walls, the crack of a whip was a familiar sound, the cries of the oppressed a lullaby to which they had grown deaf. But now, it would be their cries echoing in the hollowed halls. Tacky raised his machete, the blade kissed by the first rays of sunlight, and led his people forward. The surprise was total. Within moments, the air was filled with the clash of metal and the cries of men jolted awake in panic. He moved with precision, a terror and a savior all at once. Machetes gleamed like serpent scales in the light, each swing a step closer to liberation. The expression of shock in their master's eyes fueled them, each conquered heartbeat marking another victory against years of tyranny. At Tacky's command, no women or children would meet the harsh edge of their revolution. It was a fight for freedom, not one of senseless slaughter. The uprising gained strength as Tacky's followers joined in, leaving the plantation's oppressive silence shattered by freedom's vociferous claim. 60 of the masters fell that day, their wealth and power crumbled against the will of enslaved men and women yearning to breathe free air again. But freedom is never free, and the cost was high. Though victorious that day, Tacky's uprising was met with brutal retaliation. The colonial powers, determined to restore order, responded with overwhelming force, recapturing the fleeting dream of freedom in their iron fists. However, the spark had been lit, and Tacky's legend would not be easily extinguished. His was a story of hope, of courage, and of the indomitable human spirit that refused to remain chained. As the sun finally rose high in the sky on that Easter dawn, it witnessed not just bloodshed, but the first embers of a fire that would feed future generations' quest for freedom.